Good Tuesday morning to you, Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. This is the utility weather outlook from Velco. This weather hazards outlook will be valid the rest of today, Tuesday, through next Monday, September the 21st. And we're looking at the eastern visual, overlaid with satellite, the visual current, and along with temperature and 500 millibar flow. You can see a ridge of higher pressure. These are the yellow lines here, and so forth. This is inducing a surface ridge of higher pressure that will be pretty much taking up shop. You notice clearing skies, frontal boundary way up to the north of us. This area of higher pressure will be guarding us for quite some time. The sprawling high pressure system pretty much ruling the roost with a very quiet period right until right through Saturday. It looks like into Sunday morning even. And this extended dry period will be broken by a cold front and parent area of low pressure. This system will be tracking across Quebec and swing a cold front through where showers and possible thunderstorms could occur. This would be somewhere along about Sunday. And then, interestingly, it looks like another area of higher pressure will be developing. And that could even cause another extended period of dry, fair weather, good working project weather. So we should be seeing some foggy mornings followed by sunny afternoons, and a temperature warming trend that'll bring us basically temperatures running about anywhere from about 8 to maybe 14 degrees above normal for this time of year. No real worries on dew points, it does look like, as you can see the dew point temperatures here are moistening up a little bit west of the Great Lakes. Eventually that's going to spill into the region, but that's a long ways down the road. And you're looking at the Water Prediction Center 7-day accumulated precipitation totals. You can see it's pretty limited. You can almost put a skull and crossbones here. Very limited in terms of precipitation, with the main influx of moisture activating with some cold fronts running up and bumping up against this ridge of higher pressure. And so the main areas of rainfall will be through portions of the Central Plains, mid-Mississippi Valley, and then back up into the Great Lakes. Another area that's going to start to take off is over toward British Columbia. This is kind of a signal you see typically in September and late September into fall. That's starting to take place. And also some much-needed rainfall even into those drought-stricken areas of California, as the West Coast areas become a lot more active than the East Coast thanks to this area of higher pressure. The exclusion to that, Florida. A lot of tropical moisture. And this is an area we always have to keep an eye on, especially this year with this moderate to strong El Nino. So looking at the dailies here, this is valid this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and you can see this area of higher pressure centered here. Precipitation pushed off to the south, to the west, to the north of our region, and this is only going to continue, and I'll just run through this very quickly. Now this cold front that's off to the west here, this is valid Saturday evening at about 8 p.m. We start to kick in a little bit of gradient wind here, but it looks like it's going to be well below threshold, so I'm not even worried about the gradient wind. But this would be an area we'll have to keep a close eye on. Of course, I'll have another outlook by that point in time. Again, this would be valid, does look like Saturday evening. And then the frontal system then begins to work into the region, and you can see the frontal system is a very thin, narrow ribbon. So I'm not really anticipating a whole lot of heavier rains with that, but there's some potential for some showers and thunderstorms, 1 or 2 locally heavy. Then another area of higher pressure builds in, if you believe it. This is going to be another extended period of dry weather, and of course we're way out here now. This is Wednesday of next week. And you can see that even going 10 days out, this area of higher pressure just hangs out across the northeast, becomes a blocking area of higher pressure. Meanwhile, down in the tropics, this is going to be an area that's going to see increasing amounts of showers and thunderstorms, very persistent down here. And looking at the precipitable water, which does indicate where the moisture is, you can see everything's kind of swirling around this area of higher pressure. Occasionally we get a little bit moistened up. It looks like somewhere along about Friday into Saturday, but not too bad. Probably a little bit more in the way of cloud cover at that point. And then you have this narrow ribbon here, which becomes narrower and narrower as a very exceptionally dry, cool fall air mass begins to push into the region. This effectively is the cold front, and this is what we'll be moving through on Sunday. And then you can see another area of higher pressure pushing exceptionally dry conditions into our neck of the woods and setting up the whole stage here. This is through day 10. Pretty amazing. Looking at the daily temperatures, The maximum today, we're looking at temperatures up around the 75-degree mark on average. Nighttime lows very comfortable at night, roughly 55 to 60. A little closer to 60 as we get into basically Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But daytime highs up around 80 degrees on average. And this will continue, it looks like, into Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're looking at a little bit of a cool off here. And this slides in with a brand new air mass. That's the next area of higher pressure with that cooler, drier scenario setting up for the early part of next week. Quick look at the dew point temperatures. We do get up in the upper 50s. I'm not sure if I buy this above 60 here yet, but in the vicinity of 60 is possible by the time we get into Thursday and Friday, and then a little bit of a drop-off as we get into the early part of next week. But this is something we'll have to keep a close eye on as we get into the late part of the week for any kind of formation of any kind of potential spotty thunderstorms that could develop. It doesn't look like anything's being advertised at all, despite the fact that dew point temperatures do climb up close to 60 degrees. In the tropics, no threats for utilities. We do have 3 easterly waves, one in the western Gulf that's really not going to be affecting us, a 10% chance in the next couple of days of formation. But if it does form, it looks like it's mainly a Mexican issue. Coming off the west coast of Africa, these easterly waves, this one is about a 40% chance, and so far it looks like it has the best amount of moisture with it. And then we do have the 60% chance here for the central Atlantic system. That could be named Joaquin or Ida. Either one of these could spin up into a tropical cyclone. This wave here is not an issue, and these are projected to basically work up into the open Atlantic, so really no threats for utilities of any landmass in North America. The only one we have a threat for is going to be for basically the eastern side of Mexico. It'll probably run into the mountains, produce some fairly heavy rainfall, and really not be a factor for anybody else. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.